Man, Rod 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 Man. This is the Fin Out of Water Emergency Podcast. Obviously,
Emergency.
we're a little bit late to the party. We have jobs. We are, we're adults, right? But we had to have a conversation about this. We don't normally do emergency pods again because we're adults and we have jobs and we have lives to do. So we're not full time YouTubers. But there's no way that we cannot discuss what happened today. The monumental news that was a bombshell this morning about 10 a.m. Today with the news of Tua Tagovailoa being officially benched, right? So there's a bunch of different conversations that we can have. There's a bunch of different lanes and avenues that we could take this conversation. There is what's the future of Tua? What is the future of the Dolphins? What is the future of this regime? What is the future of this coaching staff? And we're going to try to talk about all of these things in a various scope. But before we do any of that, Rod, in this emergency pod, I want to get the post of the Dolph fan. I want to get the post of one of my best friend, Rod.
True
What's up,
Blazer. He's
man?
already in the building. He ready, man.
Man, true. Come on, true.
Pop the
One time for
champagne
true,
like he
man. One
was the
time for true, man.
champion. Hey, yes, sir. Like Lil Wayne.
Rod, talk to me, man. This it feels like a funeral. This feels like the end of an era. This clearly is the end of this iteration of the Miami Dolphins, bro. So before we get into the macro stuff, man, let me just get your perspective on it, man. Talk to me, man. What's up, bro?
Herbie, if I had one word to describe this whole occurrence, I would say that it's bittersweet. And to be honest, long overdue. Herbie, I was one of the champions of Tua for many of his seasons here, right? I never considered myself Tua a non. I was never that degree, but Tua was my guy. He was my guy. He looked good in McDaniel's scheme. I put a lot of emphasis on his relationship with Flores and how it didn't work. But ultimately, Herbie, I, to be honest, I felt empty because this was inevitable, right? Like I have long since maybe the official funeral for Tua is today, Herbie, but I have long since my grieving process started since the beginning of the season. And like I said, it's bittersweet. And with Tua now being on the bench, Herbie, it's the sad thing is, Herbie, the sad thing is that I'm sure deep down he wishes he could be who he once was. But between him re-aggravating his hip last year, between the concussions, between just and Herbie, even just the way he's played this season, just from a quarterback efficiency mental standpoint. Like, all right, you don't got it with your hip anymore, which means you ain't got it with your arm. But Herbie, that interception he throws on Monday night against the Steelers, Herbie, I'm a guy who watches the games from my couch. And I could tell you, if I look to my left and I have one receiver and there's an underneath defender and a defender over the top, and there's no oncoming route to force the underneath defender to have to make a choice, Herbie, I'm not throwing that ball there. Like, dude, you're 6 years in and you're making mental mistakes like that. Like, forget how terrible the pass was. That it was a wobbly duck that had no zip. Just the fact that you even made that decision as an NFL quarterback, Herbie, given the experience you have, given how well you've played, Herbie, Tua has had some monster games in his NFL career, right? And first of all, shout out to Happy Evelyn. Shout out to Happy Evelyn. I see your comment,
Whoa,
man.
we'll get to the comment, man. Stick the landing, Rod. Stick the landing. Stick the landing. I'm just showing. I'm cycling through the comments. I didn't mean to
Yeah,
distract you, brother.
yeah. No, you good. You good. I appreciate. I appreciate it. And look, I don't think anybody is expecting anything out of Quinn Ewers, right? We have reached a point, Herbie, to where we are just better off just seeing what we have left on the roster. I'm not one of those people who expects Quinn Ewers to save the franchise, right? Like Dolphins fans, because we've been starved for a quarterback, there's a small sect of our fandom that often believes that the backup is the savior, Herbie. That's what happens when you go years without a dominant quarterback. But back to my point on Tua, Herbie. It's a shame, man. It's a shame, man, because when 2023 happened, and the way, even though we flamed out in inglorious fashion, I was foolish enough to believe that it was the beginning rather than the peak. Right? I didn't realize that that would be the heights that we would have reached in this regime, Herbie. I thought maybe we were going to see even more growth in between injuries and all kind of things. Things didn't work out, but Herbie, Tua has regressed, man, quite a bit, and he's regressed physically. He's regressed mentally, and I ain't gonna hold you, Herbie. To see this guy on the sideline laughing it up in a loss where he was the determining factor. Herbie, people have to understand, we won 4 games straight in spite of our quarterback. Like, it's not like we were winning 4 games straight because of the guy.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Like, we no, like we were winning in spite of him. So, Herbie, this was long overdue. And at the very least, Dolphins fans have the interest factor of, well, let's see what we have in Quinn. Let's see if Zach Wilson looks like anything. Even though we know the answers, we
Yeah,
know
for
the
sure,
answers.
for
We
sure.
know we know how these movies end. But like you said, Herbie, this is the Tua has walked the plank, Herbie, and the crocodile's mouth is wide open.
Yeah,
That's
man. And let me go ahead and just get to this comment from Rashad as well, right? Well, I'll go to Happy Evelyn, man. The Dolphins are dumb enough to think a Chris Greer 7th round pick would make an NFL starting quarterback. That no, they just have no choice. That's really what it
no,
is. Right?
they
They
don't
have
get
no choice. And
anything.
shout out to the homie Rashad, man. We always love the homies that show love to us, man. Growing up is realizing Brian Flores was right the whole time. Brian Flores was right.
Was.
But this is one of the things. Now, we want to give Brian Flores credit. Brian Flores also went out of his way to sabotage Tua, right? So it's a tricky conversation when you get to
Herbie, two
if you
things
really
can be
get into it.
Herbie, two
Yeah,
things can be true. Like he definitely, because he Tua wasn't his guy, he made sure he wasn't gonna put him in a position to succeed. But you could also say, well, shit, he was right from the jump,
and
right?
you can also say that if he wasn't such a stubborn asshole, you guys would have Tom Brady, right? There's a variety and a gumbo of not of bad decisions from a lot of people that are in charge that were put in a position of leadership. But it's not about that. It's not about this. What we know is that Tua is done. There, this is this
Baked
is
chicken, bro. Baked
there's
chicken.
okay. So the
Stir
the
fry.
the best way to explain this right now, right? One of my favorite songs of all time. It's a John Mayer song. It is a song about a slow process to an eventual divorce or eventual breakup. It's called Slow Burning, Slow Dancing in the Burning Room. Phenomenal record. It is literally about a situation that everybody knows is not working, but you guys are going to the slowest process to get to the eventual point.
Right.
The fact that you guys did this the year after you gave him $250 million, not 2, 3, or 4, literally the year after you gave him a contract extension. It is just the most poetic irony that you could imagine. The problem is that it happened to the team that you grew up being a fan of, your favorite sports team, the team that you are most passionate about.
Herbie, of course we would pay the guy who up until that point had only had one healthy season, Herbie. It's not like Tua had a history. It's not like Tua had gone healthy for 3 years and we made the playoffs all those years. No, 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 no. He had one year where he stayed healthy. The rest of the team got hurt. And for whatever reason, Herbie, the Dolphins, whether it was Chris Greer, whoever it was, they
Right.
felt like for whatever reason Tua had some kind of leverage. Herbie, even and we could pull up the tape on YouTube. I said it way back then. We should make him play on his 5th year option. We shouldn't give him the contract. We should make him play on the option. They gave him the extension, Herbie, and what I said following was, let's hope for the best. In reality, what we got is the worst. Because now we are hamstrung with a guy. Herbie, we haven't even hit the meat of his contract.
Oh,
We
we'll get
haven't
to
even-
that. Let's save that
right,
conversation because that is
right.
a whole conversation in itself. And I remember when you had that conversation, you said he should play on his 5th year contract. And then you know what I said? Trevor Lawrence got $250 million.
Mhm.
That is all of these things. There's so many microtransactions that happen in real time that you don't even think of that's going to affect something down the road.
Right.
Trevor Lawrence getting that contract made it to where you couldn't not give the contract to Tua. Obviously, you couldn't. Obviously, it's your choice. You didn't have to just because Trevor Lawrence got it, but that was the leverage. Up until that point, Tua statistically had overall, if you lined up all of their seasons, who by far had the best season out of the two? Tua. So
Right.
if the perceived guy that was less productive got $250 million, of course you're going to give $250 million. Of course you're going to give Jordan Love $250 million. Of course you're going to give Justin Herbert $250 million, because that is the class of quarterback that we were hoping Tua was in. Even though you know those guys had higher ceilings, you didn't ever imagine him having a significantly lower floor than them.
Right.
And to
Especially
make
given the way he was playing at that
to
time.
make it even worse, the guy that is the reason why you had to pay Tua is actually starting to live up to the contract in Trevor Lawrence, who's having the best stretch of his career.
Threw 5 touchdowns the other day, man. Looking
Again,
good.
so all of these things have converged up into this point where the Miami Dolphins literally got the short end of the
Hey,
stick.
JPS, I know, man. I know, man. I know, man.
We all know, we know, man. That's
I
that's
know.
why we do. That's why we do the show where we do the show. Now we know.
That's why I normally go to the stew, man.
That's why we do it in
I'm not living
studio.
right.
But
I'm not
this
living
is an
right.
emergency podcast, so you're gonna get the third co-host, bro. Which is Rod's freaking fire
Smoke
alarm
alarm.
battery, brother. The third co-host of the Pin Out of Water podcast. But so last fan thought before we get into the financials, Rod. What's the last fan thought, man? What's your last fan thought, brother?
Herbie, I guess the last fan thought that I have is I imagine that you know I and this goes out to the rest of the fan base, Herbie. I think everybody, at least right now, because we were on edge, bro. Like, especially, it was a big Monday night game. Many of us weren't expecting much from this team. Like, the Dolphins weren't gonna win out. We knew this.
Yeah,
But you were expecting more of, given the way they had played previously, you were expecting
yeah.
more of a tougher performance. But when you watch that game, Herbie, imagine being a teammate of a guy like Tua, and you're coming out to do battle. Like the defense, like Herbie, the defense, people were talking about how horrible the defense was. Herbie, at,
No,
at,
no. It
at
was.
halftime it was 7-3.
I
It
was
was
there.
7-3.
I was there. There was no way that that defense in that weather was going to be able to hold up when they just kept going back on the field. At some point, you're just like, bro, I don't want to be on the field. Our offense
Yeah,
sucks. Like, our
yeah.
offense sucks. Our quarterback sucks. You have Jalen Ramsey yelling he's weak, which I thought was super lame, by the way. Like, that's your former teammate. And I don't know if they had any type of beef, but from everything I know, Tua is a stand-up guy. Like, even if you think he's ass, bro, that's still a former teammate, right?
He ain't got to
Uh,
show him up like that.
You ain't got to show him up. But
Yeah,
point aside, the defense came to play for a half until they just could not sustain it anymore. They're like,
right.
why are we even trying? It's 0 degrees.
Herbie, I'll tell you myself, if I'm on that team and I'm watching the way Tua's playing in that first half, I'm telling. I don't care if it's Jordan Brooks. I don't care if it's Terrell Dodson. I don't care if it's Minka. They say, "Hey guys, we got to rally." I'm gonna say, "Man, hell no." Nah. They're not rallying for us. Herbie. That creates division. Like, you can't. You're not gonna go to war for a guy who's playing like that. You're not.
Absolutely, man. So let's transition. Let's get into a couple comments and let's go ahead and transition. What if Brian Dable comes in and makes two? Brian Dable is not going to be the head coach. Brian Dable got bigger problems, brother. Brian
Wait.
Dable got bigger problems. I think Jalen was talking about the tight end there because Tua and him dapped up after the game. Okay, cool. That all right, bet. Because I was about to say, come on, Tua, you ain't got to do that to Tua. Tua's a solid dude, man. But speaking of Tua and speaking of what you guys have gotten, man, going back to the Browns game, bro. These are the QBR for Tua. 4.2 against the Browns, 62.2, 29.2, 62.5, 28.5, 7.9, 18, and 12.2. Just not good enough.
And Herbie, that 12.2 is such a lie. Herbie,
That 12.2 is an absolute lie because it was stat padded.
right. Like Herbie, I didn't even realize it because I stopped watching it again. Once they went up 28-3, I stopped watching it. I didn't even realize what Tua's stats were to finish the game. When I saw his stat line, I was like, wow, this is the ultimate garbage time stat.
Ultimate garbage time stats, bro. 100. Look, put it like this. This is his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last 8 games, going back to the Browns. 100 yards passing, 205, 261, 173, 171, 157, 127, and then the most garbage 253, most like fake
Most
253 of all
uninspiring
time.
350 yards of all time, bro.
Man, so yeah, he just wasn't good enough. Mike McDaniel said after the game, bro, it was on the table, and then they made it official, right? So
And you know
let's,
what, Herbie? That's that. And you know what? I'm at the point to where I'm ready for it to wipe the slate clean. You know, I've mentioned this several times, but I do feel bad for Mike in this regard, Herbie. He hitched his wagon to Tua,
yeah,
and he might end up being a better coach somewhere else, and might end up winning. And I think Mike with a better quarterback could really make things happen, Herbie, especially considering he figured out what to do with his run game, right? Like he had no choice. He was forced to have to figure out the run game because there was no passing game because his quarterback became inept.
yeah.
So it's a shame for Mike that he hitched his wagon into it. I don't know. Some people are split on whether he's staying or not. I
Oh,
kind of hope he
honestly,
goes.
honestly, I'll put it like this. Let's save the Mike conversation for the main pod, right?
Yes, say
Cause
less.
I
I got
cause I want to stick to the tour because at the end of the day, this is about tour, right? And
you.
not to
True.
cut you off, I don't want you. It's just there's a whole conversation about Mike that we can have. There's a
Right.
whole conversation about a lot of things we can have, right? So I want to
Right.
give Mike his own due time on Sunday's pod because I really want to go ahead and phone in on the financials because now we need to really have a conversation. What do you guys do with Tua Tagovailoa? There's two different conversations to have. One is we are in a unique situation that's possibly never happened before with what you guys, the decision that you guys have to make when it comes to Tua Tagovailoa, and the history behind the decision that you guys have to make, which makes this a very unique situation. When you bench a quarterback, that means that guy is gone. It's very rare where you bench a quarterback and he is on the team the following next year.
Right.
Uh, I have a
Russell
list.
Wilson is the latest. Is one of the
Oh
latest.
yeah, for sure. I have a list. This is just notable guys, right? That stayed with the team after they were benched. Drew Brees with the Chargers. Jameis Winston with the Bucks. Anthony Richardson, obviously because he's on a rookie contract, so it's advantageous to keep him. Kerry Collins with the Titans. And then Bryce Young. Again, another guy on a rookie contract. It's advantageous to keep him. It's a very, 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 very rare thing to do. You can finish out the season, but 9 times out of 10, that quarterback is on a new team.
Right.
This is where it gets absolutely historically tricky for the Miami Dolphins. If Tua is on a new team, there is a 99% chance it's because he signed as a free agent. And if he signs as a free agent, that means that you released him. And if you release him, that means you have a $99 million cap hit, the biggest in NFL history. That will supersede the cap hit of Russell Wilson when the
85
Broncos
million.
released him in 2024 at 85 million. That's 14 million dollars more than that, which is the previous record, which is the current record. I'm sorry. How can you release a guy and then have $99 million in dead cap money? That, like, this is where this becomes the most unique situation, arguably of all time, when it comes to releasing a quarterback. When you bench a quarterback, you can't go back to him. You really can't because you already gave the signal that we do not believe in this person. The players, how can I play for somebody that you're telling me y'all don't believe in? So how are we going to go back to him? How is Tua going to be on the team next year? And then if he's on the team next year because you don't want to have a $99 million cap hit, it's gonna be mad awkward to just see Tua like, hey, bro, like, what's up, bro? Like, hey.
Well, listen, the guys have said some interesting things, right? Like JPS, you know what, JPS, it's crazy, but I might have to agree with you, man. I mean, especially since we probably gonna end up releasing Tua, he's going to be the worst signing in NFL history, Herbie. He has to be if he costs you 99 million. And True says, the post June cut, it spreads it out, the 67 million and the 31 million. I got you,
It's
but
still 99 million.
no matter how you
it's
slice
just
it,
it's
no,
it's just do you
no matter
want
how you slice
99 up front or do you want to take 67 to the face and then come back and take 32? It's still 99 million.
this is sick, man. This is so
And
sick.
then if you trade him, it goes down to 45 million. Who's trading for Tua Tagovailoa? Who? Not a single person. Hey, you got it, bro. This is the funniest one of all, bro. You won the comment of the year, bro. You won the comment of the year.
99 million problems and two is all of them.
99
Uh,
million from the
that hurts. And you know
suicide.
what, JPS? And you know what's sad? The irony is, Herbie, what the Broncos did should have set them back for years,
Yeah.
but they had the right people in charge to make things happen. Do you really
Mm-hmm.
think that's going to happen for the Dolphins?
Absolutely not.
You really think that's that? Sorry, Dolphin fans. I'm not trying to be negative here, but let's be realistic. Like, given what we've seen of this franchise in the past 30 years, given the fact that we have gone a quarter century without winning a playoff game in the NFL where parity reigns supreme, Herbie, this is come on. You know what I mean? Like this is just awful, man. This is just awful, awful stuff.
I feel so bad because I legitimately don't know what you guys do, right? So you can have the June 1st. You if you cut them before June 1st, it's 99. If you cut them literally an hour, like the hour into June 1st or 3 o'clock, whatever the new league season starts, it's
Right.
67 and 33 or 32. It's $99 million. You can't get rid of him. Nobody wants him. He is literally a stank bag of ass. Who's traded for a stank bag of ass? And there's bags of ass, and there's bags of ass that are flaming hot and smell from a mile away. Tua is a radioactive flaming bag of ass.
Herbie, let me tell you, after watching that Monday night performance, dog, I swear to y'all, I had to take a tomato bath, bro. Tomato juice bath, bro. It was skunk stank, man. Like I needed to throw some milk on me. Like, hey, bro, it's. See, you're right, Herbie. And here's the thing, Herbie. Tua is literally a broken quarterback. Like there is no redeeming factor. He has
None.
because his hip is messed up. He has no mobility, and he can't put power into his throws. So his weak arm is truly, truly a noodle arm now, and he can't move.
He
Herbie,
can't move.
defenders come at Tua. Herbie, defenders come at Tua, and I can do a better job of escaping than he can.
It when you bring it to that, when you bring all of that to light, that's what makes this so sad, and that's what makes this so disappointing, right? Like you already have to live with the fact that you did not choose the right guy at quarterback, right? You got to live with that, but you also have to live with the part of we never truly got the best version of this person because of the physical nature of this sport, and he broke down. But that's the sport. It is a gladiator sport. That's what comes with it. We have to move on. Unfortunately, Tua, you are a casualty of war. That's just the reality of the situation. We can't worry about this anymore.
Yep.
What's done is done. The decision was made in the year 2020. You know what I'm saying? Like everything was set in motion in 2020, 5 years ago, when y'all decided to draft him number fifth overall, exactly one spot over Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert is getting his ass kicked, but Justin Herbert, you will truly, you feel better about having him. Clearly, nobody, bro,
Or Jordan Love, Herbie. We had
or
options.
Jordan Love. Like, there is nothing you can do with Tua Tagovailoa. Normally, when you have a top pick, there's going to be somebody that's going to sniff around and say, hey, man, I'll throw you a bone for a seventh round for him, right? Just so I could get him in our system, just so I could get him in our facility, kick the can. Nobody's kicking the can on Tua. He's a boulder. People will break their toes if they try to kick a can on him. Are you crazy?
Rafe, shout out, man. Doubles,
Well,
triple sport, man.
sure.
Triple sport.
Man, this is an insane scenario. I looked up the history. Benched quarterbacks don't play for that team anymore. Like, there's a line of demarcation. There's the old NFL where it was the Wild Wild West. Yes, you can look up Drew Brees. I'm not Drew Brees, but John Elway got benched and then became a Hall of Famer. Terry Bradshaw got benched plenty of times. That was the 70s and the early 80s. That shit don't count. That's a completely different NFL. Dudes were smoking cigars on the sideline. You can't compare that to that. Coaches, good guys didn't know what they were doing. They like, no, that doesn't, no. So there's gonna be some guy to be like, well, actually, John Elway got benched and look what he became. No. There's too much information. There's too much analytics. There's too much modernization of the NFL. If you get benched in this iteration of the NFL, 9 times out of 10, actually 10 times out of 10, you are not going to be with that team anymore. Whether it's immediately the year after or a year after that. But the history shows everybody's gone once you bench a quarterback because you can't go back to that person with those people in that locker room. And this is a $99 million what's to call it? Bryce Young, this is the J-Boy, this is the difference. Bryce Young is on a rookie contract. It makes no sense to not keep Bryce Young. Same thing with Anthony Richardson. They don't really count. We're talking about the guys that you pay, the guys that you truly are invested in, the guys where there's nobody behind them. It doesn't make sense to get rid of Bryce Young after you benched him for Anthony Dalton. He's still on a rookie contract, and he's a first rounder. So you have 5 years to just keep him on the team. And if you go back to him and he's cool, great. It's a guy that you pay. No, you're good. And my bad, J boy, because semantically, yeah, you're right. But we're talking about the actual context. This is a guy that you pay. Carson Wentz, when they benched him for Jalen Hurts, he had to go. Kurt Warner, when he got benched for Mark Bolger, he had to go. Carson Palmer, when he got benched for Kurt Warner, he had to go.
Rafi, man, you really want Cam?
Man, can't don't do it, man. Y'all go watch that 2020 tape of Cam with the Patriots, man. Y'all gonna remember real quick. That's going dead all of that. Now you might be right. Perfect attitude for Miami. That is absolutely true. Hey, listen, if a 44-year-old guy could get a call, why not Cam? Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna do Cam like that, bro. I just literally watched Phillip Rivers get some game time, bro, on 1 week's notice. Not even 2 days notice.
And I put Phil Rivers to get a touchdown on my ticket, man.
That's crazy. That's crazy that day. Can you imagine the start of the year that I would tell you, Rod, you're going to bet on Phillip Rivers to throw a touchdown in an NFL game? Are you serious, bro? We're in such a wacky world, man. Get this Mario crap out of here, man.
Man, I think Barry Allen ran back in the past again. He screwed up the timeline.
The timeline is all out of whack, bro. Please, man, please. We got to go fix that canon event, bro. Like this is the end of the world for sure. Back to Tua though. Back to Tua. This we really have to like, Rod. What? It's just such a mind-boggling scenario, Rod. If these guys cut Tua, right, and they say that we're going to cut Tua, and if they do it, it will obviously be a post-June 1st, right, so they can spread it out between 2 years. But that's still $67 million. Do you know how bad it had to be? A quick aside. Do you know how bad? You know how much they must have hated Russell Wilson, they say, bro, we'll just eat the whole 85. You go, just leave, bro. You got to get out of here, bro. Like
Bro,
that's
they were
crazy.
so sick of that
They
guy.
were so sick of him. They ate 85 million. That's nuts. Back to Tua.
Heavy hitters. You right. It was time for change,
It
brother.
was
It was
definitely
time.
time for change, bro. Okay, Tua. Back to Tua. 67 million in dead cap. 32 the following year. What does that mean for the Miami Dolphins when you can't spend $67 million because one person was so bad that he had to go? Is next year going to be a lame duck season? 37 is way more manageable. I mean, 32 is way more manageable. But next year a lame duck season? And if it is a lame duck season, how do you even go into that season enjoying it, Rob?
You know what, Herbie? I can go into that season enjoying it because I've been down this road before. Herbie, the Dolphins have been rebuilding nearly my entire football life. So this is nothing new. Just another 2019 season, just another season where we're just going through the motions. Herbie, the the number one thing that we could hope for is that when we do get the GM, we hit on our GM, Herbie. That's probably the biggest thing I'm looking forward to this offseason coming up. Who do we get as a GM? And to be honest, I mean, you could name me 100 names, bro, and it doesn't matter until we see the person in action. I don't know if they're gonna keep Champ Kelly. I would hope not. I don't want any stench of Greer around here. We're done. Get rid of him. That's why Mike McDaniel needs to go. That's why Tua needs to go. We'll have to eat all of this, Herbie, and it's gonna hurt for a year, maybe two. And I'm thankful there's no quarterback coming out that I really, really, really want, so we could actually focus on actually rebuilding, which means using our important picks to draft in the trenches, right? Let's keep trying to get that offensive line right for whoever the next signal caller is going to be. But Herbie, we get us a good GM that'll put us in a you get a guy that could draft right, Herbie, and that cures a lot of your problems, right? Because you're able to fill the roster with talent without having to overspend as we often do in free agency. So the way I look at it, Herbie, let's just see what happens with the GM pick, and I'll let you know how sad I am come next season.
Okay, you know what's funny though, because of that conversation, it actually gives us the opportunity to swing back around to Mike McDaniel, right? So I know we were going to save it for Sunday, but we could come back around right now because that actually is a natural progression to that conversation, right?
Hey, hold on,
So
Herb. Hey, J boy, I already had to tell JPS. Listen, y'all, I normally don't record at the crib.
we
Y'all
don't
right,
normally. Hey, if you guys are new,
y'all right.
first things first. Everybody in the chat, man, hit the like, bro. We got to hit the
Yeah, the
algorithm,
chat
bro.
jumping today, man. Much
Yeah,
love to
chat,
y'all.
bro.
Much
Hit
love
the
to
like
y'all.
button. Show us. That's the only way they're gonna promote our stuff, man. And then two, J boy, if you're new to the channel, Rod don't record here specifically because of that goddamn fire alarm, right? But this was the emergency pause, so we had to do what we had to do. So you just gonna have to enjoy the third co-host today, man. Shout out to Rod's fire alarm, third co-host of the Fin Out of Water podcast, man. He been there since the day one, man. We don't forget about the ones our day ones, man.
Never,
You know what I'm
never
saying?
that.
Never forget about the day ones, man. So let's swing it back around to the Mike McDaniel conversation. Rod, I know you were talking about earlier how you actually feel bad for Mike McDaniels because in that 4 game winning streak and when you're returning around, when Mike McDaniel said, you know what, I'm done with this dude. I'm just going to work around him and just develop the most mind-boggling run offenses and run stunts and run, like, you really got to see the genius of Mike McDaniel when he stopped trying to cater to Tua Tagovailoa. And now you're like, dang, do I want to get rid of this person? So where are you when it comes to Mike McDaniel? Oh, and before we get to that, let me answer that question for heavy hitters. How do we feel about Quinn Ewers? He's a 7th round pick, brother. We maybe he's every 7th round pick how they normally are, or maybe he's Tom Brady. We're gonna find out this upcoming Sunday, brother. We're gonna.
Listen, heavy. I'll tell it to you like this. My expectations for him are not high because of where we drafted him. And listen, you could always work off the belief that you never know, right? Nobody knew about Tom Brady is a famous example, but even Brock Purdy has a more recent one.
Yeah,
You know,
true. Yeah, Brock Purdy.
you never know what you have in any guy until you throw him on the field. That being said, I don't think our 7th round rookie is going to be the answer. At best, maybe we'll consider keeping him next year as a backup, sort of like how we had Skylar Thompson. But Herbie, Quinn Ewers. I'm not gonna listen. I'm not gonna ride the guy if he doesn't play well, right? Like the season's over, right? They just want to see what they have. So, yeah, yeah, that's how I feel.
Okay. Well, matter of fact, I'm gonna come back to that, J boy, because I wanted to reach this one first. Let me get this tank for Arch. Hey man, if you got a tank for Arch, man, do what you got to do, man. Oh,
I ain't gonna hold you, man. I ain't with all the arch hype, man.
we we
I
got
just,
we
I
get
just,
we
he
got a
hasn't
whole year
impressed.
wait for that. Yeah, he going back to college, so we got a whole year for that. The NIT in Pittsburgh, the play design was the roll to it out left with only one option, no flat routes to hold the DB. It was designed to have one option with double coverage coaching is bad. Or the guy is aware of the limitations of his quarterback and just tried, man. Like Tua has
Listen, J boy,
15 interceptions against zone coverages, man. That at some point that's on you as a
J boy,
quarterback.
J boy. I'll say this: the play design wasn't great because, like you said, he had one receiver going that way, and there was no underneath receiver to force the underneath defender to make a decision, right? But I would argue, Herbie, any basic quarterback, you're looking at the play pre-snap. And I've seen tons of quarterbacks do this when, especially when they break down film, Herbie. They talk about choose the side with the numbers. Clearly, if you're Tua, you know the play that you're running, you see the coverage, you should
Mm-hmm.
know that's not gonna work. Like you're a 6 year quarterback. Like I
6 year
mean, Mike
quarterback.
McDaniel can't hold his hand. Like he has to have the discernment to understand what he's looking at in coverage and what decisions to make. You know what I mean? You could lead the horse to water. It's up to him to drink it. Now, granted, that's not the best example for that analogy because on that play, Waddle was covered. Like there was that was dead, but it's on to it to either throw the ball away or to look on the other side where he may have a numbers advantage and maybe he can get somebody open or check for his check down or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
there are
so
certain
what
things where I just gotta blame the quarterback.
no, for sure, right? And again, this is a bad team. When it's a bad team, everybody deserves blame, right? Like it's a pie. You could as a individual person try to determine or decipher who gets more of the pie, but everybody's in the pie. Mike McDaniel's in the pie. Stephen Ross is in the pie. The OC is in the pie. The DC is in the pie. Everybody's in the pie because it's a bad pie. It's a bad product. Eventually, if this actually was a slice of pizza, I would say I want my money back. This is awful. Who made this? Like who was in the kitchen for all of this? All of those cooks get blamed. And that's what happened, right? However, there is a bright side because I don't see Stephen Ross getting rid of Mike McDaniel. When you make this decision, it is two things. Mike McDaniel and Stephen Ross had a conversation probably. And Mike McDaniels went to Stephen Ross and said, "Bro, I tried, bro. He ain't it. He
He can
ain't it.
honestly say that too, bro. He did try.
Like
He did.
he ain't it." And if Stephen Ross gave Mike McDaniel the carte blanche to do what he did, which is bench Tua, and gave him the leeway to do that, right? Like gave clearly Mike McDaniel did not go rogue. I don't even think that's in Mike McDaniel's nature, especially for somebody who he has protected specifically. He chose Tua. He came here because he believed in Tua. Let's get that right. So for him to bench Tua, he had to, whether it's in person, backdoor channels, whatever, probably got the okay to do this. And if he got the okay to do this, that means that he's probably going to come back next year, right? So now we have to evaluate Mike McDaniel. Tua is, it's done. All of this right now is the evaluation for Mike McDaniel. Is he gonna be? Hey, you with us next year or not? That's how you guys, as fans of this team, need to be seeing this. Need to be attacking this. Who cares who gave up a bomb? Who cares if y'all gave up 500 rushing yards next week? All of that's irrelevant. The only thing that matters now is the evaluation of Mike McDaniel. And the reason why that matters is because Ben Johnson is not in this coaching cycle, guys. I'm sorry to break it to you. Ben Johnson is not in this coaching cycle at all. Have y'all seen the batches of coaches that are in this pool? You got Joe Brady and a bunch of I don't know. Like there's a lot of bad teams right now. So if there's a lot of bad teams, that means there's a lot of bad coaching going on in the NFL right now. like you gonna take who you gonna take? Another Sean McVay retread? The current OC for the Rams? You gonna do it again? You gonna double up? You gonna run it back? hey, so this is about the evaluation for Mike McDaniel. And in the next couple of games, y'all don't like what y'all see. Hey, y'all voice y'all opinion. Get him out of here too. But I do think we're going to see a different offense because Mike McDaniel is not going into the game thinking about how much he has to strip back his own offense, his own passing offense, because his quarterback can't get a half of a yard when he's trying to scramble.
Bro, it's so awful. Like Rafi alluded to earlier in the chat, bro. Like, bro, there were a couple sacks to it took Herbie. All he had to do was throw the ball away, bro. And he can't even do that. And it wasn't even just the physical part. It was the mental aspect too. It's like Tua just forgot how to play quarterback. Like on top of just not being able to move. So and I'll say this, Herbie, when it comes to the Mike McDaniel point, whenever Tua and this goes two ways. He designed an entire system to get the best out of his quarterback. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything
Right.
was designed for Tua. So you could argue that's probably why whenever any other backups came in, they never ever had a chance. Because they just, not Tua has his own skill set and everybody
which
else has
is
theirs.
a flaw on Mike McDaniel's part. That is a major, 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 major flaw. You cannot make if you can only make your offense for one person, then the offense clearly is not good enough, and your coaching is not good enough. If we seen Sean McVay work with different people, we seen Sean McVay was it what something Bedford or whatever look
Christian.
functional, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like if you are that
No,
guy,
we
you
seen
have
Matt LaFleur with Malik
with
Washington.
Malik Willis.
Willis, my bad. Willis,
We,
yes.
we seen Matt LaFleur go win 2 games with Malik Willis because he was able to cater an offense to Malik Willis. When anybody, unless these are truly the worst quarterbacks ever, and they might have been, it might have been.
But Herbie, look, Teddy Bridgewater was a good backup under Peyton. Jacoby Brissett is
Yeah,
flourishing, not
yeah,
flourishing, but he's decent with the Cardinals.
decent, serviceable, right?
Snoop with the Ravens has always been decent, right? Like,
So again, this is all about the evaluation of Mike McDaniel's. If it's either he is best suited as an offensive coordinator or a run game designer, or he's actually a good head coach, and we're going to see what he's actually made of. Either way, we're going to figure it out within the next 3 games. Because if they are awful, he's out of here. He's out of
100%.
here.
And you know what, Herbie? I'm not gonna wish for that to be. I don't want him here next year. If it turns out the Dolphins perform well with Quinn or Zach or whoever, right, and they just finish out the season on a somewhat positive note, and Ross decides to keep him, I won't be distraught if Mike McDaniel's brought back, but I won't be as optimistic as I probably would be if we just came back with a clean slate, with a new coach, with see, True's out. True
Yeah,
don't want no
True is
part of
out.
it.
True is out,
And I don't
man.
blame you, True. Like I'm done too. Like I'm good to see Mike go. You know what I mean? Like I'm good to see him go. But if they decide to run it back, at the very least, maybe whoever his next quarterback is, he'll he'll have more success with him. Because I'll tell you what, Herbie, we didn't even need a great quarterback this season. We just
No,
needed
you didn't. You just
an
needed
average quarterback.
you
Like an
just
average
need like
quarterback would have been better
a
than Tua.
league average quarterback, y'all would have been straight, man. So, all right, let's leave on that note, man. Let's get some of these comments before we get up out of here, man. Oh my God, man, y'all boys, man. First thing first, man. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the brothers. This is a small channel. We growing, man. So we appreciate everybody spending time with us, man. Because you don't have to be here, bro. So we absolutely appreciate everybody that's here with us just to talk about stuff that we all love, which is football. To took 2 sacks right now. Son. Hey, that became synonymous with Tua, bro. Just taking bad sacks when he could have just threw the ball away, bro. Like it's just you just he is so done. He's so cooked, man. He's so cooked, man. Mike McDaniel often designs plays with only one true read. Mike McDaniel first 2 years work because of all the smoke and mirrors, motion getting it. But again, how much of that was him just knowing his quarterback and knowing his quarterback was ass?
Overcompensating. He had to overcompensate for his quarterback.
You feel me? This is another one, bro. He in regards to Mike McDaniel, he better get a better PR team to help him out with press conferences. Yo, this was a wild season for Mike McDaniel, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like he was saying anything, man. He was talking like a dude who knew he was about to get fired, bro, before the winning streak, dog.
He ain't give a damn.
He
He
ain't give
accepted
a
everything. Yeah, he accepted his fate, my boy.
All right, so everybody in the chat, man, y'all got random questions. We just gonna go off on react to the questions, man. Ain't a good coach. He got listen, man. Like we said, we already said we already addressed that comment. Yeah, man. We gonna see. We're gonna get the post. We're gonna get the post. We'll do a follow up on Sunday. I'm gonna look up how fans are talking about because again, we might be in the echo chamber, right? Like this small group of fandom might, just be like, "Now we're done with him." It might be another side of it who's like, "No, we want Mike. I like Mike." So we're gonna really,
No, Herbie,
really address it.
I've seen
Yeah,
it on the Facebook groups, Herbie. There are people still defending Tua. There are people who are still saying it's not his fault. There's still people who are absolving him of any accountability. But there are also people who are just like, oh, I want to see what Mike can do with somebody else, which I think is kind of fair. But I've seen enough in other aspects, his clock management, the fact that 4 years in, you still have trouble getting the plays into your quarterback. There's a lot of other functional things that him as a head coach, I don't know if he's been prepared for, how the team might practice, whatever the case may be. The guys like him, and that's a plus. But at the end of the day, Herbie, I think the Dolphins need a complete culture shift. And I don't think when you're trying to enter a new world, people from your old world sticking around doesn't help.
yeah, true.
So
That is true. That is true.
that's how I look at it.
Jay boy, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. This lineup would have went crazy in like 2010, fam. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Mike McCarthy, head coach, bro. Dave Hall, OC, Mike Zimmer, and Leslie Fred. That coaching staff going 15-1, man, in 2010.
Hey, I remember the Mike Zimmer, Leslie Frazier days, boy. You seen them DCs, man? You was like, oh, them blitzes are coming.
Rob May say he's never won a coach. That is true. That's pretty crazy.
Herbie, that's just
That is
one.
pretty
His
nuts.
clock management,
That's pretty.
his play calling.
That's pretty nuts.
He
That
might have
is.
won one, Herbie.
You probably did, but I mean,
Maybe,
I
maybe,
gotta look. I gotta look this up,
maybe.
man,
But I
because
think
there's
paper
no
was
way,
wrong.
bro. There's no way, bro. Like, hold on.
There's Raymond. They're gonna start Quinn Ewers. Shout out to you, man. Shout out.
All right,
They're gonna
Rod. I
start.
need you to filibuster while I look this up, man. Just
Yeah,
go
what's
ahead and
up?
have it
What's
three,
up? Nah, listen,
stream
man.
of conscience.
Listen, guys, listen, man. It's just hold on. Let me see. Oh, True Blazers, like his time management was atrocious, bro. I'm telling you, man. Reed gonna stay a DJ, stay at Dolphins, another team, or retire from football. I mean, hey, Tyreek has made his money, bro. He's made his money, just like Tua. I think I mean, Tua's probably gonna let it go too.
Okay.
Dave
All
boy,
right.
I'm
So,
man.
according to Google AI, yes, Mike McDaniel has won coaching challenges, but his success rate is notoriously low,
Maybe
making
one.
him one of the worst out of the fucking NFL coaches. Hey man, hey, you know what? Mike McDaniel might have to be going. Google AI is cooking you, bro. Yeah, you might have to go, man. Google AI even cooked him. You might have to go, brother.
Wow.
When Google AI cooking you, man, it's a wrap. All right. Any last words before we get about here, Rob?
Hey, listen, nah, man. You know what? This was the group therapy that I needed, man. I think
Oh,
this is
for
the group
sure, for
therapy that
sure, for
many of us
sure.
needed after just such a tumultuous season,
That's
man.
what we do it for, man. We do it for because, bro, it's just to find like-minded individuals who you could have this experience with, bro. That's the whole point of this podcast, bro. That's literally it. To meet like-minded people, to vent about our very frustrating and bad teams, and just have real camaraderie amongst mediocrity, right? Like, that's that's I don't
I don't want to hear
he's,
you, but
he's, yeah.
yeah.
You guys are
Read,
hilarious, man.
true,
I
true.
love
You
y'all, man.
right. Raymond
Y'all are
said that's why the
funny.
line jumped. Okay, I haven't even checked the line yet, bro. I gotta check that line. I know that line skipped a beat.
Oh, for
Quinn
sure,
started.
man. Oh man, yeah. I wish I would have locked in, man. Dang, man. Does
Does Philip
Killer?
Rivers have more
I
kids?
don't know, but I do know that his oldest kid is older than the guy that's backing him up in Riley Leonard. That is insane. What are we
Man,
doing?
listen, you know
What are
what?
we doing?
Philip Rivers is the GOAT, bro. That man
The
needed 5
goat.
more years of insurance, bro.
That
He
man,
said, I'm
because he
coming
got 10
back.
kids and grandkids. He like, I'm finna get this. I don't care about the check. Forget the Hall of Fame, which I was a
Need it.
semifinalist for. I need that insurance. Give me
Let's
that
get
insurance,
glad,
man.
kids.
All
Glad.
right, man. So, hey, first things first, everybody in the chat today, man, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all, man. Y'all already know how we do, man. Round of applause, man. Rod, you are the greatest co-host in the world. If I did not have you, then this podcast would be nothing. I appreciate you and love you, brother.
Love you
Everybody,
too,
we will
man.
see
You
y'all
guys the GOAT.
Sunday. If you are a fan and this is the first time watching, we do this every Sunday, 7 p.m., between 7 and 7:30 p.m., man. So tune in, sub, and we will see y'all on Sunday. Deuces.
Deuces.